words to know?
Words to know. Table, pattern, equation. How can you find a rule for a pattern and complete a table? Think about this question during the lesson. Dots are used to draw each figure.
Thank you.
How many dots are in the first figure?
4.
There are 4 dots in the first figure. How many dots are in the second and third figures?
8 and 16.
There are 8 dots in the second figure and 12 dots in the third figure.
Oh, Alex.
How many
That's
dots
okay, I
would be in
didn't
the
count 'em either.
20th figure? Which figure would have 100 dots? Let's find out.
Okay, so we kind of did something similar to this in a topic back, and I'm trying to think what topic it was, and I'm not really for sure right now. But it's where we're going to come up with the rule for, or the equation, the rule for this, and we'll be able to figure out how many dots are in the 20th figure. We'd be able to figure out how many dots are in the 100th figure by plugging it into the rule.
To begin, make a table to organize the data.
So the figure 1 has 4 dots, 2 has 8, 3 has 12, 4 has 16. We want to figure out what the 20th figure, how many dots it's going to have, and we're going to figure out which figure number is going to have 100 dots. To get our equation, we look across. What is the relationship between n, that's the figure number, and D, the number of dots? What's the relationship? It has to work for every single one of these. Destiny? N times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. N times 2. N times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 20 times 4. 80. So your 20th one is going to have 80 dots, okay? Now this one is, we can solve. We said our formula is n times 4 equals 100. How do we solve this? Kyle? So n equals 25. So the 25th figure, if you keep doing this, and you get to your 25th one, that's the one that's going to have 100 dots. Very good.
What data is missing from this table? The total number of dots in the 20th figure and the number of the figure that has 100 dots in it. Look for How do you find the relationship between the figure number and the total number of dots?
Destiny told us n times 4.
To find the
I'm skipping
in
over
this
some
table,
of this.
each number in the second column is 4 times the corresponding number in the first column. Express the pattern as a rule.
Yes, Nathan. Yes.
The rule is multiply the figure number by 4.
And we said n because they have figure number n. Okay, that's why we said n times 4.
Now, express the pattern as an equation. D equals 4n. Use the equation to find the missing numbers in the table.
Okay, now even though for the next one, even though for the one that we had 100 dots and we had to figure out the figure number, okay, even though we basically, this says 4n equals d, which is the number of dots, that's the same thing as d equals 4n. Either way, you're going to get the same answer, whether your 4n comes first or your d comes first. We solved this already. The value for 20 we said was 80.
Figure. Now find which figure would have 100 dots. Use the equation to find the numbers missing from the table.
And we did that already.
What operation do you use to isolate the variable n?
We divide it by 4.
What figure 25 has 100 dots? Now you know how to find a rule for a pattern and use it to complete a table.
Good job. Guided practice. Need to put these in your notes? Yes. All right. This is in your book on page 382 and 383. Okay, in the video, they had not X and Y, but N and D, right? And for their rule, they said D equals, meaning the way you get D is, so when we do our rule, we're going to do the same thing, except instead of D, we have Y. Y equals. So let's look at our relationships. Here we have to look down between X and Y. What do we do to 2 to get 14? What do we do to 4 to get to 28? What do we do to 6 to get to 42? Has to be the same all the way through. Has to work for every single one of them. What do we do? Claire Longy?
Multiply by 7.
I'm sorry, you what by 7?
Multiply.
Multiply by 7. So we could say y equals 7x. That's our rule. Y equals 7x. So y, right here, our missing y equals 7 times x. Y equals 7x. Y equals 7 times 8, which is 7 times 8, 56. Y equals 56. Now we know in our head 7 times 8, 56, right? We can do that mentally, but this here, these are the steps to that process. We can use that rule again, y equals 7x, to figure out our missing one, to find out the missing x. Fill in what you know. Y, which is 70, equals 7x. We don't know what the x is. We can solve it though. This says 7 times x, so we do the inverse, which is to divide by 7. Divide both sides by 7, and we get 10 equals x. So I know that that value that's missing is 10. Now, you may be saying, that's not hard, I can do that in my head. You're right, you can. But if it says, find the value of x when y is 3,263, I don't even know if that is divisible by 7. I just made that up. But would I be able to figure that out? Sure I would. Because I have this rule. Just take it and divide it by 7. I have this rule to figure it out. Let's do the next one. Write an equation for the rule. Oh, that's the one that we just did. Okay, I know what they wanted. For the one before, sorry. The one before, they wanted it written in words. So we would write multiply x by 7 to get y, or something like that. They want that written out in words. Then for the next one, they say, do the equation. The equation is y equals 7x. That's the equation part. I should have said all that. It's not a big deal though. But the word form, when it says word form, that's when they actually want it written out in words. They put in my book, multiply x by 7.
I think you're going from top to bottom then, multiply by 7.
Yes, that's what we were doing, going from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Yes, Alex. Thank you. Find the missing y, we did that already. Find the missing x, we already did that. Let's work one more together from your book. Let's do number 8 together. Find a rule for each table, write an equation for the rule. So number 8, you have an x column and a y column. We have 0, 20, 36, 42. 0, 20, 36, 42. Those are our x values. Our y values are 16, 36, 52, 58. 16, 36, 52, 58. 16, 36, not 32. It's in your book, guys. It's number 8 in your book. 16, 36, 52, 58. All right. Here's our x's and here's our y's. We need to find the relationship here. What's going on in each one of these, Brendan? Add 16. See, 0 plus 16, that works. 20 plus 16, that works. 36 plus 16. Yes, you take your x and you add 16, okay? So if they wanted it written in words, we could just say x plus 16, but it does not say written in words. It wants the equation. So we start out, y equals x, any number for x, plus 16. So that means if I want to find out what y is for x is 88, I can do that. I plug in 88 for x. Y equals 88 plus 16. You don't have to do this, it's not in your book, but I just want to show you. I would get y equals 104. I could find out what y is when x is 3,502 something, anything. So plus 16, okay? That's what this rule does. It works for anything. I don't say y equals 0 plus 16 because that does not work for all of them. All right? Let's do a quick check. Claire Longy, will you get the sticky notes off of my desk? Raise your hand if you need a sticky note.